Good YouTube. I wanted to give y'all a different version of DDD. This one is the map version that allow you to search your Kepler and your Copernicus. First, you just play 3 Gilgamesh. This is pretty standard. This is the card that's going to allow you to set your pendulum scales, and it's going to allow you to go into the visor pretty easy, and it can replace itself with a DDD if it's destroyed. This one allow you to gain life points and negate a spell or trap. Oracle D Arc allow you to heal your life points. Anytime you will lose life points, she heals life points, and she only requires 2 DDD monsters. One Genghis, he lets you negate spells and traps. You need 1 level 5 or higher DDD monster and 1 DDD monster to fusion summon him. You can do that with the spell, which I'll show you, and you can also do that with some monsters in the deck. And he also can replace himself pretty easy. And then this Genghis, this one basically allow you, if you summon a DDD monster while he's on the field, you can special summon a DDD monster from your graveyard. He allow you to climb into other higher level monsters like synchros, and also he is a card that allow you to go into the visor, which you see right here. And he basically allow you to get rid of one of your contracts and take one of your opponent monsters and attach it to this card. And he also has a decent scale effect, which basically allow you to continue to reuse your scales, and you can just do that by sending. And then DDD Kali Yuga allow you to wipe back row, basically like a heavy storm. But he also says you can detach 1 material from this card and target 1 dark contract spell or trap card in your graveyard and set that target. So he allows you to get recursion and recovery, because those cards allow you to fusion summon and search. This one is one of your biggest interruptions when a spell or a trap card or a monster effect is activated that includes the effect of special summoning a monster. You can detach 1 material and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. And then you can also add 1 dark contract card from your deck to your hand. That comes up a little bit because if this dies, it gives you ability, recoverability. This card basically allows you to burn your opponent for 1,000, and then you want to use his effect to also, you can send 1 DDD or dark contract monster from your graveyard to your graveyard. But that's only when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. But you can use that even if you seed summon and detach it. DDD Wave King. During either player turn, you can detach 1 material from this card, and at the end of the battle phase, special summon from your graveyard as many monsters destroyed this turn as possible. Only downside is the next standby phase, you take 1,000 for each monster special summon by this effect. And if this card is sent to the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 dark contract card from your deck to your hand. You only can use both of those effects once per turn. It just allow you to go for game, and even if you send it to the graveyard, the dark contracts just give you recoverability. And then Zeus is just one of the games. This wins me so many games still. It's an older card, but it basically allows you to wipe the whole field besides itself. And you can do it multiple times depending if you detach 2 materials. The more materials you have on Zeus, the better. Kepler is a searcher. He allow you to search a dark contract card or return 1 card from the pendulum zone back to the hand. And his scale effect, he goes down in the pendulum scale from 10 all the way down to 1. So you have to watch that. This card allow you to dump a DDD card from your deck to your graveyard, which some let you summon from hand, some let you fusion summon, some let you synchro summon, but you need them engraved to get their effects. And this card allows you to dump them. And I think his pendulum scale comes up. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except DDD monster, which is the whole deck. This effect cannot be negated. And once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate and activate a spell card that would inflict damage to you and then destroy this card. And when it's in the pendulum zone, that comes up because sometimes you don't want to lose to your spell cards, and it's good that they gave you more versatility to avoid that. Before you couldn't really do it unless you had the arc. Now you have multiple ways to do it. After the structure deck and after the release of cards like DDD Griffin, this card basically allows you to special summon itself if you control another DDD card. It comes up a lot, and it allows you to basically go into Gilgamesh to set your scales. And he also allows you to search. It says that at the bottom, if this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can add 1 DDD card from your deck to your hand, except DDD Griffin. But you only can use that once, but it does come up a lot when you want to bring back DDD Griffin for the search. This is extend your board or extend your plays. Triple Swirl Slime. This won't let you summon if it's in a graveyard. You can summon from the hand, even tribute summon monsters. And he also allows you, it says right here, you can fusion summon if you have this and another DDD monster in your hand. You can fusion summon one fusion monster with the materials, using him and the other monster as materials. So it allows you to summon your Diarch and your Genghis cards. And then I played 2 Necro Slime, just because this one allows you to fusion summon engrave. If this monster is in your graveyard, you can fusion summon one DDD fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials mentioned on it from the graveyard, including this card. So this card comes up a lot just because you want Genghis for the negate, or you want to be able to climb into bigger boards, so you use the smaller Genghis to do that. And then you got Lamnia. She allows you basically to get a level 1 tuner that you can summon with 1-for-1, and she basically gives you recurability, and she gives you a way to take away your contracts, because it says if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one DDD or dark contract card from your hand or face up on the field, except Lamnia, and special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And it can also help with Copernicus and Kepler, because sometimes they're in attack mode and you can get rid of them, summon her in defense mode, synchro summon, link summon, and get them off the field before you take damage. And DDD Ghost, I think this is still a good tech, just because he allow you to get banished ones back that you might banish with their effects, and he gets them back. And he allows you to send one monster with the same name to the grave, so you can send multiple Necro Slimes or multiple Swirl Slimes to the graveyard with his effect. And then DDD Orthros is a pendulum. Once per turn, you can target one spell or trap card on the field and one other DDD or dark contract card you control and destroy them. So he's a card that allows you to get rid of floodgates. But he also has a monster effect. When you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. So he's basically a extender. If this card is special summoned to your field, you cannot special summon a fiend. Your whole deck is fiend. Your whole extra deck is fiend besides Zeus. So you're not really going to fear that lock. And this card basically allows you to copy the level. I will take a level and make him 1 through 8. And he becomes that level. So he helps you a seed summon. He helps you link summon. And he helps you synchro summon, because he's a DDD card that you can use for those effects. This card has 3 effects. This card can attack directly. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in spell or trap card zone, and your opponent cannot activate card effects in hand or graveyard. But he's a scale 0, so you want to put him in scale just because you can pendulum summon easy with him. And if you would take effect damage, you take no damage. If you normal summon one level 5 or higher DDD monster, you can do it without tribute summoning, which is easy. You can't only use the effect of him once per turn. So he comes up with a lot of utility, and the fact that you can put him in scale easy with Gilgamesh. Remember, if you use Gilgamesh effect, you do lose 1,000. Cerberus has a decent effect. When this card is pendulum summoned, you can, from your hand, while you control a DDD monster other than Cerberus, you can target one continuous spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand, so you can get your dark contracts back. And once per turn, you can target one DDD monster you control and change his level to 4. And if you do, it gains 400 attack and defense. That do come up when you have to beat over stuff that's too strong, like 3,000 monsters, and Cerberus allow you to do that. Thomas is one of the best ones, so I play 1 copy. During your main phase, you can add 1 face-up DDD pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, and you're going to use this effect, DDD Thomas, once per turn. So he gives you recurability just like Kepler, but he do have the summon effect. When you summon them on the field, you can target 1 DD monster in your pendulum zone, destroy that card, and if you do, special summon 1 level 8 DDD monster from your deck in defense position, but for the rest of your turn, its effects are negated. So that does come up, and it can hurt you sometimes. But also, any battle damage your opponent takes becomes half. So you got to remember that when you use his on field effect, but you're mostly going to use him for a high scale. This card is one of the broken ones. I feel like I use this a lot every duel, because you can banish 2 DDD monsters from your graveyard and special summon this card from the Pendulum Zone. So he's a 27 beat stick that you can summon easy, and with Orthoros he can get to 31. And also during your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 2 face-up spell or trap cards you control and special summon this card from the rest of the turn by sending them to the graveyard. And also destroy the targeted cards, and if you do special summon this card, and that's a quick effect, so you can do that during either player's turn. And then Ragnarok basically allows you to special summon the DDD monster when he's on the field. But remember, if you special summon it, you're going to need to use that effect once per turn. And you can tribute 1 DDD monster, then target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it. Also, if you special summon a DDD monster step during the damage step, you can target 1 DDD monster in your graveyard, and any battle damage your opponent gets turns to half. So, and you also take 1,000 damage. So that's a scale effect. It comes up when you want to summon more DDD monsters. And this card will just allow you to summon a fusion monster if it's sent to the graveyard that turn that you sent this to the graveyard. So you Copernicus, if you foolish it or whatever you play, you can send it to the graveyard and you can fusion summon from your grave a fusion material, use him as fusion material, another DDD monster to fusion summon. 3 Ash, one of the best hand traps in the game. This slows down your opponent while you're trying to explode the map. This basically allow you to get Copernicus and Thomas, and also the Gold Divine King Rage. Those cards are consistency cards. You want to see those cards to be able to play and have your plays go off, because they allow you to see your contracts and they allow you to set up your grave. And that's why a lot of people love the map. I prefer evenly because it allows you to break boards. This deck has a tough time breaking boards. That's why I showed y'all a different version where you can still combo, you can still play, but you can still break boards. And I feel like this version, you can still combo more, but you can break boards less. But it's consistency, so you can recover a little bit more because you have more access to your dark contracts. And if you can have a board where you don't take the damage, you can overwhelm your opponent with negates or disruptions, and you can win more consistently. And you also can fusion summon more because you have more ways to get this back and utilize it more in this build. And this card basically allows you to burn your opponent. And also, if the same special summon monster for the rest of the turn, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 DDD monster from your graveyard or face up pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So like I said, this gives you more recoverability, adding a DD monster, adding 1 from your extra pendulum zone to extend your combos. And it also can burn your opponent for 1,000. If they control a seed or a link that's the same type that you control, you burn them for 1,000 when they special summon it. And another card that I play in this deck to extend your combos is 1 for 1. Didn't play it in the other build because it's more of a break your board and extend your board type of build. This one is a more consistent build. 1 for 1 just allow you to send your Limnia, send your Necro Slime, summon your Kepler, also summon your Copernicus, set up your grave, search, and that's pretty good. And Headhunt, this is your defensive card to go with your Ashes, and same with the DD Headhunt. Basically, as you see, if you control a DDD monster, target 1 face-up monster your opponent control, take control until the end phase of the next turn, but effects are negated. It cannot declare an attack. Also, if it's a monster special summon from the extra deck, it is also treated as a DDD monster. You only can activate this once. So it just allows you to get disruption. You take one of their monsters, you keep it, you can link with it, you can synchro with it, you can accede with it, and it's basically yours until about 2 turns almost. And then you give it back, but you usually want to get rid of it or go for game by taking it. And I feel like that's a disruption that you need. Other than that, I got combo videos next if y'all give me 20 likes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Vendor signing out.